Hey guys, so what I wanted to do was record a video, which I already ran the class, thought we were recording, but we weren't. So this is a redo. I'll show you what we're going to try to do. Last week in the video, this is for senior project and the advanced programming class, we're learning about APIs. Eventually we'll have to tackle those in order to save and retrieve data. Last week we learned just the basics of get, post. This week, I'm going to take you through and show you how to set up an environment to do posts, puts, deletes. And then next week, we'll get into other information. As you see, I already have the feature up and running. I'm going to stop my service. Oops, Control Z. It stops it. We already wrote this code, but you know, those in the class seen it. Those who were not in the class didn't see it. So it's okay. We're going to go through and do it again. After some practice, I get good at this. So let's go ahead and start up a new environment here. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up a folder so I can put some code somewhere. I am going to go down here to documents, and I am going to go to my Git folder somewhere. I'm probably running out of disk space as I speak. There we go. And we're going to make an API third just to make it simple. So that's fine. All right, so open that. Alrighty. The screen is really big because I'm gonna keep it that way so you guys, because I'm using a large screen, so I'm not sure what size it'll look like. So I'm gonna go into terminal, and within terminal, I'm gonna clear the screen, and we need to get started and install some libraries. So we're gonna start off with npm NIT yes. And what that'll do is we'll install our package. I'm going to clear my screen. We need to do Express. I don't know if it's save or Y. I can't remember off the top of my head. It is save. Yeah. So we'll do this. Install Express. And the last thing that we need to do install is Noman, so we'll do install Nomon. Keep saying yes, Noman, and boom, we're good. All right, so now we got our environment set up. Let's create a file called index.js. This will be where we write our code. Last week we went into, and we'll create it again. We'll start off with our just our Git library and so forth. So let's do const. So we need to, what we're doing here is we're defining our library. So we'll do an express equals require, and we'll say express. There we go.
Playing from CMPS WP 13601.
All right, so then we'll do a const app equals express. And now we have to define that we're going to use the express as well. Sorry. So let's do this. Let's say app.use, and we'll say express.json because we're going to be using JSON. There we go. And now we're going to do just what we did last week. We set up a, we use video games. This time we'll use Teams. We're going to set up an array data structure. So set up as a constant because it's not going to change. We'll call it teams. In brackets, just like an array, we'll call it ID number 1 is that. Why is that doing that to me? Then we'll have team as our other value, and I'll call it Steelers. Then we'll come down here and do a comma, and then we'll add another one. And for some reason, why is it giving me that area? App.use express.json const teams equals bracket ID column 1. For some reason, it is acting weird. What is going on? Oh, what did that do? I forget something? No. Constant teams, maybe because, what's it say here? did something wrong. That's fine. Alright, so we'll do ID 1, team, Steelers, like that, and then we'll come down here and do a comma, and we'll do this here, so we'll add another value, ID number 2, so it's almost like we're adding a database. We will do penguins, come down here, and we'll do another one, and last one we'll do team, and we will do the Point Park Pioneers. You know what? They'll come in last. We'll do Pirates. Alright, so now we added our array of data here. Alright. So next thing that we need to do before we do that, we need to set up a configuration item. So let's do constant port equal process dot environment dot port, and we will start at 4021. App dot listen, and then port callback, and then we'll do console dot log, and working listening on port, and we'll put port number, and that's it. I think that's it. I probably messed it up. You know what? I forget how to put port number. I'll put listening on port. I don't really care. All right. Then what we need to do here is we need to set up our gets. So we're going to do a couple of gets real quick. Well, we're just going to do one get for now, just to see if it works. So get all themes. So if we did application.get, we'll do the route of an API. You could call this anything. We're just calling it API teams. And we'll do an need. We need a request, and we need a response, and we need a callback feature, and we need to send this information, and we'll send teams. Yep. So we put teams because it's at the end of our route. We save it. I'll show you guys how to do a couple of different things I didn't show you last week. So we're not going to use no one right off the bat. So let's say node.js. Node index.js. Alright, so it's listening on port. It's on 4021. So if we go to HTTP localhost 4021 API teams, and there we go. So it's up and running. We have our ID and our team values in array. So I'm going to do Control Z and stop this. Oops. Oh, we got to do it down here. Control Z. It stops it now. Cover screen. I'm going to show you something I didn't show you last week. It does that and says, guess what? Port number 4021 is in use. I want to show you what I didn't show you last week is how to get rid of how to stop it. Now, I told you could come up here and you can change this to 4022 and save it and run it. But there's always going to be something going on. So it's LSOF-I. And whoops, Control Z. I did that last time. So let's do it again. LSOF L Lisa Sam Ostrich Frank space hyphen I space pipe, and then put the port number that you're looking at, which is 4021, and hit enter. Alright, did I wrong? Oh, maybe I entered it wrong. Yeah, I messed it up. So let's do this again, and let's just do, is it 4021? Alright, no, I'm messing up. Alright, so let's clear this again, I'll show you. Lisa Sam ostrich Frank hyphen I, and then just the port number 4021. All right, boy, am I having a day. Is it colon? I can't remember anything today. All right, let's try it for the 8th time. LSOF-I colon port number. There we go. That took a million times. All right, so that is how you find what's running on that port. So we're looking at the PID number, and we need to kill it. So type in kill -9 space, and then the PID number 89912, and hit enter. And there you go. So let's run that code again. And look at that. Nothing's there. We're good. So now we can start our thing up again. So I'm going to do nodemon index.js. So now everything's running on port 4021, and anytime I save it, I don't have to restart it. And just to verify it works, we come back over here, and things are running as normal. That took a few minutes to explain. Alrighty. So let's go on to the next one. So we did the get. So we're going to learn it. First thing we're going to learn about is posts. So we're going to come over here, and this is a post request, and we're going to add a team. So how do we do that? We do application.post. So we put what type of response that we want to do. We're going to do a post. These are all CRUD, C-R-U-D. So CRUD is post, put, get, and delete. Those are ones that we're using. We'll put our route here that we have in place, which is API teams, like that, comma, all the same thing. We need a request every time. We need a response every time. We need a callback function every time. All the same stuff. Okay? And now we need to set up our constant. We're going to set up a variable. We'll call it my team equals, like that. We have to assign it an ID because it's expecting an ID. So we'll call teams because that is our route, teams, dot, and we do the length. And we add 1 just to play it safe. Then we insert team. So if you're doing an insert statement into a database, it will be insert into table, and you provide the fill. So we're going to provide team. We're going to do a request to body, and because why we're requesting the body is we're going to, where are we at? Wrong one, because we had a problem there. Let's, right here. So when we do HTTP requests, we're going to have something in the body, like right down here. We're going to choose JSON, and it's going to choose something in that body that we put in there. So, like for example, we're going to come in here. So this is Postman, by the way. I'll show you how to set up a workspace. If you start off, you could do create a new workspace, like new workspace. I'm not going to create one because I already have one. Just walk here and put your information in here. I had this workspace going, which I just lost now. Thank you, senior project. There we are. So you'll come down here and choose body, JSON, and what we're going to do is put some values in here. So that way we could test it. So for example, we'll put ID, and then we'll do colon, and then we'll put whatever the ID is. So we'll say it's number 4, and then we'll put team, and we'll do colon, oops, not like that, team, and then we'll put in parentheses like this, we'll put pioneers, for example. Okay, so that is what we want to do, and I wanted to show you how that works. So make sure we have that right. We have ID, and then we need a comma here, and then we have team, and all it's doing is using this value and this value. So why I did that is we're doing the body right here. So we're going to do the body, which is that information, and then what we're going to do is we're going to look for team. So that's what we're trying to capture here. This ID is just going to increment. So we're not looking to utilize something that's in place. We're just incrementing. We're taking what's there and we're just adding 1 to whatever the next one is. In this case, we know that's 3, so it's going to look and say, hey, we're at 3, so we need to add 1. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, and so forth. Okay. So that is how that works. Okay. All right. So now that's that part. So now outside that window, we'll come down here and we'll add, in this case right here, we have our teams, and then we'll do a push to my team, kind of like we're using get response. And then we'll do response.send, and then we'll send my team, like that. And then we'll do this right here. We'll execute it. I will do Control S and save it. We'll come back out here and make sure it's running. It is running. So what we're gonna do is try to add that. So we already have this in place. We have it as a JSON. What we need to do is put our URL in there. So let's copy our URL. We need to paste it in here, like that. And then we need to change the message. We want to do a post, and click send. And so we got no error messages. We got an OK. It shows it pushed it. So we come back over to the web page and refresh it, and look at that. We have a new value. We can add another value if you want to. We could say, all right, while we're at it, let's do 5, and let's do the pilgrims. Fine. So 5 adds it. Now you'll see something different when we refresh it. We have a new one. So it's 4, 5, and so forth. So you go down the line and just keep adding data. So that's how you use the push, or post, I'm sorry. So that was pretty simple though, wouldn't you say? Alright, so now let's say that we wanted to update our teams. Alright, so we're gonna run an update statement. That's called a put. So let's come down here, put request. Now we're gonna update a team. Okay, so now what do we do here? We find where the heck we put that at. There we go. Alright, so now I'll do app.put, same thing, /API, teams, and we'll do ID. So we have to specify the ID value. It's like updating a table, update table, where ID equals this ID. And then update table, set value equals value, where ID equals ID. That's kind of what we're doing here. So we'll do our request, we'll do our response, then we'll do the callback feature, and within the callback feature, we'll set up a constant, call my team, like we did before, equals teams, and then we say find that team, do a callback feature that specifies that team ID and says equals, and we're going to parse that integer, and request the params ID, just like that. Okay, so we're requesting that, we're parsing it, we're looking good. Now we're going to say if my team, if the team doesn't equal, if it doesn't equal what it should be equal, then we need to return an error message. Response.status 404 send, so we're telling it with the send in case it doesn't have what it needs. We say the team with the ID was not found. Perfect. Now, come down here and type my team. Team equals same thing, request body dot team. So we're requesting what's in the body, response dot send, and we send my team like that. There we go. Exit. There you go. Save that. We updated it, and all we're doing here is we're doing a put request. We're specifying when we make the call, we have to specify the ID, which will be right here. So it'll be afterwards, and I just noticed I have that missing. So I need to have that / there, or it wouldn't have worked. So let's update it. That's why we review it. Request response, constant my team equals that. So it's going to look for that and see if it can update it. Okay, now if I come out here, this is going to come back to 3 because this is just, save in memory. All right, so what I need to do here is go into a put. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change value number 1. So I chose 1. Actually, I'm wrong. So take ID out because we're going to choose it in there. So we're going to change this. So we're going to say Steelers and want Steelers to be equal to the Cavaliers. Okay. So now what we need to do is specify what ID that we want to change, which is 1. We have a put request. We have our URL, which matches this. We have this right here, and we're saying that if it equals 1, so it's update table. So we'll say update teams, set team to equal Cavaliers, where ID equals 1. So in SQL command, that's how it would be. So let's go ahead and hit send. It shows that it went through. We come over here. Ta-da, it worked. That's how you do a put request. A put request is just an update statement. Okay? All right. Last one is a delete response. So a delete. So delete requests. So we're gonna make things a little easier. We're gonna copy all this code here. Only a little bit of it changes. Want to delete, paste it. Only thing difference here is going to be if you hit dot, you're going to see delete. You're going to have the same thing. You're going to have to specify an ID. You're going to have all this information here. It's going to still stay the same, but we're going to have a couple different things going on here. We're going to still have to do a response to your team, but we don't need to get information here. What we need to do is we need to set up an index. So our constant index equals our teams dot index of, and then my team. There we go. Right, just like that. And then we do a team dot splice like that, and then index comma 1. And that is it. So we just had to add a little bit of code there. So now if we refresh this, we'll be back to Steelers again. That's fine. We'll now put delete in here. And so we need to specify what we want to purge. So trying to think here. I think we just have to specify that we don't have to specify anything, I don't think. We could just say number 2. Why am I thinking that? I don't think we have to specify anything here. Give me a second here. So I think if we just do this, it should just purge that one right there. So let's see if that works. All right, that was an error message. So I was wrong there. All right, why did it not work? We get the team. So let's do this. Let's put ID 2, and I don't think it's like this, but penguins. So we specify the thing here, delete teams number 2, hit send. Alright, so that didn't work either. Why did it not work? Did I forget to do something? Oh, what to do? See, I did this before. Maybe I have to delete it. So let's copy this. Let me paste this in here, see if I missed something. Looks fine. Delete. Team is not defined. Team, did I do, was it supposed to be teams? No. Maybe it is. Let's see, I don't think so. No, it's team. so we specify team. Let me see if the code's wrong. Next line 52 right here. So something's wrong with that code right there, I think. So I feel like we're, oh, I see it. I think I see it. Yep. I have team instead of teams. Perfect. And save it. Alright, so I saved it. Let's see if that works now. And hit send. That's what it was. I had singular team instead of teams. Alright, so now if we refresh, Penguin should be gone. And it is. We just have pirates. And that is how you do post, put, and delete requests. Those are all three like that. Next week, what we're going to talk about with APIs is the first 2 weeks we learn about APIs using JavaScript, using Node.js. We learned about gets last week. We learned about puts, and deletes this week. Next week, what we're going to do is we're going to install a database locally, and we are going to pull data and push data. Put it on the screen. Don't put it on the screen. Maybe set up a. What I'm trying to do here is identify things that you're going to cross in this project. So I'm thinking that if we have a screen that has a text box, a text field, you click a button, it calls a function in JavaScript. It retains the information that you pass over from the JavaScript, so it grabs those text values. So this would be using the post command. And so then we would post that information, call the function. So this is how it would work, is hypothetically speaking. So let's think if we had a function written here somewhere. So maybe, for example, let's say that we had a function, and we'll say send, oh, well, that'd be dumb. We'll say post data to customers. Maybe that's bad. We'll say post customers. Oh, geez. Let's do this. Add customers. How about that? And then maybe we'd have first name, just kind of thinking outside the box, last name, something like that. And then, so what would happen is the user would have a button, you click a button, it would call this function right here. And within this function, we could then, if we wanted to, we could call the app add feature. So like app dot, well, if we could call it up here, we could put this stuff up here. Like for example, we have the post in here. We could copy this post like this, copy, and where'd that go at? We could put it right here. So this feature gets called, it passes the first name and last name over. And so for example, let's say that this is our ID, whatever the case is. And so maybe we have first name like that. And then we'd have request dot body dot, you know what we probably want to do this as a param. So we call it P. So that way we can do this distinctive values. And then we could do something like, for example, P first name like that. And then we do last name. We'd have to set up that variable. Then we do body dot P last name, something like that. So then, did I copy or paste it? Cut it. Okay, I cut it, copied it, I mean, okay. So then, I can write that out right there. So what I'm thinking is we could do something like this. So you have a screen that has a text field over here, 2 text fields, customer, first name, last name, a button. Button gets called, it invokes, it hits this JavaScript page, passes in those variables, calls the post and posts the information, and then the post will post it to the database, and then we could go out to the database and verify it's there. and boom, we're using APIs just like that. Then what would happen is we would need to do the same thing for get. Not too worried about delete now, but we just want to do get, put, and post. And once we got that down, we're rocking and rolling. Then we could get a little tricky if we have time. And what we could do is we could set up a JavaScript page, because you got to think about this. We have a JavaScript page that's calling a Node.js environment that's running, and then we could test that one out as well. But I think this, if we get this part next week, we'll be rock and roll when we set up. So if that, because what I'm thinking is in sprint 2, we're setting up a couple screens, and we're not gonna have any data really, but maybe sprint 3 we could set up the APIs, start writing APIs, routes, whatever, and we can start playing around and having some really good fun. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have questions, reach out to me, and we'll go through it. So if you run into a problem, just let me know. That's what I'm here for. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day.